got some important information we need to discuss this morning. And so we're going to go ahead and move forward. And you see our meeting agenda. We're going to talk again about the COVID. It has reared its ugly head a little bit again, and some workshops, Built for Zero, Reboot, 2 CoC NOFOs that have come out, and then we'll have a time at the end where we can do some discussion and questions and answers and whatever's on your mind we need to discuss as a CoC. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on. As I said, you can see the COVID numbers there's a lot of pluses by those numbers, which is not what we'd like to be seeing. So we want to be sure again and be ever vigilant about that. Make sure that we're taking precautions. We did get the notice that we have been funded for the COVID mitigation grant, and so we will once they get those. We've got the notice of award. We don't have the funding yet, but once it comes in, then we'll get all that going, and then we'll be able to update you more on how we can help with the COVID mitigation and detection and so forth with that position that we'll have available for us CoC wide. So just please be careful. I know it's out there. One of our staff people had it recently again, so just please be careful with taking regard. And we've got our first call about monkeypox a couple of weeks ago. Somebody in Gatlinburg was in a hotel and had been diagnosed and was quarantined and wanted to know if we would help pay for their hotel stay and so forth. So I don't know what's going on with that, and we'll start seeing numbers and reports on that, but who knows? So just be careful, take precautions, and do what you need to do to keep yourself and your clients safe. So, all right. There is a workshop opportunity offered by HUD about closing the gap. Several of you may have gotten that email last week or a couple of weeks ago when it came out. And August 4th, they had their first training about stakeholder engagement and advancing equity. Their next one will be August the 11th, coordinated homeless services resources. And then as you see the schedule there, street outreach, implementing system change, and optimizing service delivery. I would highly recommend these if you get a chance to sign up or attend one of these. So it's really good information in these things, and it gives us a chance to understand a little bit better about some of these things that we're all involved in. So when the slide deck comes out, these will be obviously there, and you can look at it. Says over there on the left, it says instructions for registering. So you can click on that and find out how, when, and where you can sign up for those others opportunities. But I would highly recommend that we look at those if you get a chance. Okay. All right. So Tennessee Valley CoC Built for Zero Reboot last week, Thursday and Friday. We had the opportunity to host, and several of you were there, and we certainly thank you for your attendance. But we were able to reboot our Built for Zero and case conferencing type stuff, and we come up with some new goals. We want to house 4 veterans within 60 days. We want to reach full participation within 60 days. We want to reach functional zero, which is less than 3 veterans on our by name list by January 1st. We want to sustain functional zero for 3 months, which is through April. So these are CoC wide goals. So if you're working with veterans, or you have an opportunity to work with veterans, or you have know of a veteran that's experiencing homelessness, and maybe your organization doesn't necessarily have a program for veterans, then refer them to the programs that do. And we want to make sure that we are able to assist them and get them into housing and as soon as possible, as much as we can. If your agency works with veterans experiencing homelessness, then we encourage you to join our case conferencing group. It's held to help us reach our goal. It's on every other Thursday at 2:00, and it's via Microsoft Teams. And Savannah and Tiffany Higginbotham from the VA are kind of running that and helping organize that. So if you have any questions, you can ask them. But I certainly encourage you to be on the lookout and be aware of veterans that are experiencing homelessness, because we certainly want to help reach our goal of being at functional zero and sustain it. Anything else on that, Tiffany or Savannah?
Nope, that's it.
Great. I'm on a roll already this morning. All right. Next. Oh gosh. Okay. So HUD has put out 2 CoC wide NOFOs. One is the regular CoC NOFO, and one is one way I think we've discussed at least last month, maybe, about the rural bonus. It's a supplemental NOFO. Now, again, this is CoC wide, so anybody in the CoC is eligible to apply for money through this NOFO. And so the first one there at the top, the rural bonus supplemental, it was released on June the 22nd. If your agency is wanting to apply for funding, we'll need your letter of intent by September 13th. No, is that right, Emily? You know what, Emily, would you like to address this, please?
Definitely, yeah. So the letter of intent will be due by August 12th. And unfortunately, HUD is not really giving us a lot of time to apply for these competitions. So that is why the due date is so soon. We would like to give you more time, but we are having to align our timeline with HUD's. So that's the reasoning behind the August 12th due date. The way this works, the application process has 2 waves. The first wave is the local wave. And so individual agencies will have to submit a project proposal to the CoC that's the September 13th deadline that you see for the rural bonus, and the August 29th deadline that you see for the regular CoC competition. And then TVCH, who is the collaborative applicant, will submit all of those project proposals in one bundle to HUD. And that's the second due date, the October 20th and September 30th. So for more information, I have written a local competition guide for both grant opportunities, and we'll send those out after the meeting. And then we'll also attach the NOFO, which is just notice of funding opportunity, for you to review as well. It has a lot of good information. And then I am available as well if you have any questions. My email is listed on the slide. You guys can feel free to call me as well. But I'm happy to help with clarifying or helping write the narrative or anything. So feel free to reach out if you guys have more questions.
Thank you, Emily. So like last year, a huge component of the regular NOFO is domestic violence, as well as healthcare providers, whether it be mental health or whatever it may be. And so I would strongly encourage our domestic violence providers to either speak with Emily or look at the NOFO really closely when it comes out, and look at and seriously consider applying for funding. Last year, HUD allowed us $1.7 million CoC wide, and we used 26% of that last year, because only one, I think, other agency besides us applied for funding through this NOFO. So this is a great opportunity for us to get money to provide, or to fund our programming and things that we want to do to provide services. So encourage everybody to look at that, to apply for that. I know it's tight. HUD came out with a supplemental and said it's due in October, and then came out August the 1st with this new one and said it's due at the end of September, and gives basically 2 months. So we're basically working on 2 major grant opportunities due within a month of each other. But get with whoever you need to get with and think about it. Put your heads together and come up with if you have a program that you've been wanting to get funded, programming that you wanted to maybe see, run up to flagpole, see if you can get some funding for it. Now's the time to do it, because the rural bonus supplement obviously deals with rural homelessness, and the regular one deals with, you know, all the other stuff that we can do. So just think about that. Be sure and put it in there. As part of this also, though, oh, is that on the next slide, Emily, the discrimination thing? Or whoever's, yeah. All right, so what we're asking for now today is that we're asking for each agency to please submit your anti-discrimination policy to us, because as it says, per HUD requirements, we've got to have those. And then what we'll do once we get those is Emily's going to create a statement that says that you're complying with your organization's anti-discrimination, not discrimination. We're not discriminating. It's an anti-discrimination policy. But she'll create a statement that says that you are in compliance with your anti-discrimination policy, and then we will send that to you to sign and return, and we got to have that on file. And that's not just for us to have, that's per HUD requirements. And so we're going to ask you to do that for us and get those back to us as soon as we can. So be on the lookout for those. Once you send your requirement to me, and there's my email address, so send that to me, and then we'll send the statement back for you to sign and return. So please be vigilant and get those back to us, so we can make sure that we're in compliance with what HUD's asking us as a collaborative applicant to do. Okay? Any questions on any of the funding opportunities or this anti-discrimination thing or whatever?
Chris or Emily, do you all know if the supplemental one was for rapid rehousing, or was that for either or?
Either or. So both opportunities do allow for a rapid rehousing project.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Aaron, I would encourage you all to jump on that. Since you didn't get your ESG stuff, you can jump on that. It won't come in till what, Emily, 1st of next year, spring, something like that. But you know, it's better than nothing at some point, and probably you could end up getting more.
Yeah. Did both of them require 20% match? I think is what I had from last meeting.
I think it's a 25% match. And that is cool.
25, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Any other questions on this part that Emily or Savannah can answer? Okay. So that went a lot quicker than I thought it would. I figured we'd have more questions on that part. So what's on your mind? What's going on? What questions do you have? Is there anything that we can throw out, ask the CoC to, thoughts, concerns, events going on with your organization? Maybe somebody give us a kind of an overview of the proceedings of the Built for Zero conference that we had last week. Tiffany, are you still here, Tiffany?
Yes.
You want to kind of maybe give us an overview on that and kind of what's coming up? I know we talked about some coordinated street outreach, veteran specific. So if you want to maybe kind of give us an overview on that.
Yeah, so we talked about at the reboot session that we might want to do some coordinated outreach events again. And this is something that we did several years ago, and we would pick a county every month and as a group, we would meet up in that county and just go and try to do street outreach for those experiencing homelessness. And there were several benefits to that. For example, it helped us learn from each other, not only about where encampments are and things like that, but just about our organizations and new news, and just sort of bonding during that time. And it's also just helped the clients because we were able to find them and connect them with services. And so I just found it to be very valuable. And so we talked about possibly doing that again. And I'm not sure if we talked about when we will start that or anything. If anyone else was there, or if like Savannah or Emily want to jump in on that. I think we were going to try to talk with some of the people that are already doing street outreach and find the time that was best for them first, and then just invite others to join along. I believe that was right. And anyway, Built for Zero also is just a great resource and a great initiative, I should say. Community Solutions is the resource. And for anyone who is, sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have my camera on. Okay, for anyone that is out, well, I guess the initiative starts with veterans. And so we try to identify veterans that are in the community, and then we try to create a system that will get them housed. And then we try to, we statistically determine how many we're housing each month. And then and once we've learned that what we've identified, or the number of veterans we're identifying, is less than we statistically house per month, then that's when we've hit functional zero. And so when you hear people saying they've ended veteran homelessness, it doesn't mean that they've literally ended veteran homelessness. It just means that there's a system in place to address it. And so that's what we're trying to reach. We did reach it in September 2019. And so we're trying to get back to that. And then once veterans, we've reached that for veterans, we can work on chronic homeless. So it's a really great initiative and it's really exciting. So we would love to have all of you on board and attending the veteran by names list case conferencing meeting. That's twice a month. I know we already went over that, but all of you that encounter veterans or that have resources to house veterans, or not even housing, if you have resources for transportation or resources for helping them get their identification or anything, it can be very helpful in this process. So anyway, that's a little bit about it. Is there any questions about it?
You did a really good job explaining, Tiffany. That was awesome. I second everything Tiffany said. And if you think of any questions after our meeting, you can reach out to me. This is Savannah. My email is ssims@tvceh.org, and it's in our, it's going to be in this slide deck. Or you can reach out to Tiffany or both of us, and we can give you more information and get you hooked up with attending the meetings.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany, Savannah. What else? Anybody got any events going on? Anything that will be of interest to us? No? We are partnering with Fincastle United Methodist Church, and they're from La Follette, but we are going basically every Friday to Jellicoe at the United Methodist Church there in Jellicoe, and doing some street outreach, providing some hygiene kits and services and meals and so forth. So if anyone is in Campbell, Anderson, even Claiborne, I guess, if you want to, join and come with us on Fridays up there and and set up that would be with us, that'd be a great opportunity for you to be involved in Jellicoe's. If you've ever been to Jellicoe, it's kind of desolate out there on its own. And so they're in need of a lot of services. And so we welcome anyone that would want to go with us up there on Fridays. We set up and start serving from 11 to 2 at the United Methodist Church there in Jellicoe, if anybody's interested. So got any questions on that? Also, you can email me, call me, whatever. We'll be happy to have you with us. Anybody else got anything going on?
A Place to Stay has a couple of events coming up. We're starting to prepare for our next street outreach here in Blount County. We're looking at a couple of different dates. Right now it's scheduled for November 5th, but that might be pushed up a little sooner. And we're still looking for a couple of things to finalize, but it's coming up soon. The other thing is we have a fundraising event coming up. We're going to be doing some online auctions. But it's called our Blessing Bowl event, and that's coming up September 23rd.
Mandy, if you have any like a flyer or any information on that, if you could send that to me, and then we'll get that put on our Facebook pages and promote that out there for you through that too.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Chris.
Absolutely. What else? Anybody else got stuff going on? All right. Well, I'm not going to drag it out, but again, please consider programming options and things that you might want to get funded and applying. Sending that letter of intent in. So we can get that written up and getting it in the NOFO. I mean, not NOFO, in the application, and then hopefully we don't leave all that money on the table as a COC like we did last year and having to pass, because we really want, if it's a COC NOFO, then we want the COC to have the opportunity to get the funding and be a part of it. And so please get your letter of intent in and applications in. And those anti-discrimination policies, if you'll get those to me, and then we'll get the, like I said, the thing turned around back to you to sign and get back to us, so we're in compliance. So, all right, last chance. Anybody got anything else? Well, it's great to see 1, 2, 3 of your smiling faces this morning, and good to see the rest of your names on here. 4, I see Annette down there in her picture. She's smiling, so that counts. But anyway, it's great to be on there with you. Look forward to talking to you again next month. If you need me or need us for anything in between, please don't hesitate to reach out. Appreciate everything you all do and the hard work that you're doing. So we'll see you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you.